What's up? How is everybody doing? My name is Janders or Jared, whatever you prefer, and this is the Grimm Awakening, a sort of fairy tale childhood hyperfixation campaign with a twist. But before we get into it, I just want to thank our sponsor, Sheckler Woodworking, a founding member of 5% Chance, who does amazing work. And if you go over to shecklerwoodworking.com, you can use the code 5% being the actual symbol and then chance at checkout for 10% off. Incredible stuff, just insanely cool. I am very excited to be here. I am so stoked. Before we get going, though, I do want to go around the table and introduce everybody, all the wonderful cast that is here. And let's start with our little grung individual here. Justin?
Hello, I'm Justin. I make D&D TikToks sometimes, and I'm playing a grung. Should I tell more about my character, or is that for later?
What about you? Tell us about you. Where can people find you at?
At Jaros1 on TikTok mostly. That's where you can find me. I just like to make positive D&D memes.
Nice. Now, heading over to our beautiful fairy, the person with one of the funniest TikToks one of the funniest channels on TikTok, at least that's what I think personally. Operator, how you doing today?
5% chance. Hi. I actually thought I was being really serious with my TikToks, but now I know how they're coming across. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I've been looking forward to playing with every single one of you guys. I make the TikToks about D&D and Pathfinder and sometimes military stuff because that's oppressive.
Okay, and then we're going right on over to our beautiful possum over here. What? Sin.
Hi, howdy.
I don't think I've ever called a possum beautiful before.
Why? That's kind of rude, Janders.
That is fair.
They're all beautiful.
That is fair. Anyway, what are you all about? Why don't you tell people about yourself?
Oh dear God, I don't know if people want to know that. I just vibe on the internet. I do D&D TikTok sometimes, queer TikTok. I have a lot of fun with transitions and costuming and makeup. Yeah.
Yeah. And then last but certainly not least, our swashbuckling gingerbread, Alex.
Hi. So I'm Alex. You can find me on TikTok at Alexander the D&D Dead, and I make, or at least I attempt to make, funny TikToks, ask insightful questions of the D&D community, which I always love hearing everybody and what they're doing with it, and just try to give some DM tips and player tips where I can.
Okay, and finally, once again, I am Janders or Jared, whichever you prefer, and this is the Grimm Awakening, and I guess it's time to get started. And I've been pondering how to start a campaign such as this. But I guess there really is only one way to start it. Once upon a time, in a forest within the realm of different lands, the enchanted forest and the inhabitants of that forest are gathering for a celebration. The Mad Hatter's Tea Party. One of the most looked forward to celebrations, each year getting together for joyous memories and happy moments to be shared throughout the kingdom. Though between borders and lines of the different lands can be rough, this is the one event of the year where we lay down our arms, we come together, and we join in the rumpus and ruckusness that is an uncelebration. Now, as we zoom in, slightly south of the princess's castle, we zoom into a clearing in the enchanted forest where there is a haphazardly placed set of tables of all shapes, sizes, and colors, some in star formations, rectangles, triangles, trapezoids, some varying from small size to enormous, gargantuan size, all centered around a long ring-like table with, in the center, a 4-story high cake. Along all of the tables are just a clutter of dishes, teacups, and pots, all interchanging between colors, and the teapots spewing out tea from their spouts, jumping from one teacup to the next. We see a kaleidoscope of characters. There are the princesses from all the kingdoms and all the fairy tales you could ever think about. We have the inhabitants of the 1,000-meter forest. We have, of course, the Mad Hatter himself and Alice accompanying him. We see Pinocchio and Geppetto sitting off to one side, kind of tinkering right now and putting on a little show towards the south. Hansel and Gretel are hastily feasting upon different sweets and just a banquet of delightful food. We see the Big Bad Wolf also feasting at the same table, but more on savory dishes. The fairy godmother has her own table, a star-shaped table filled with the fairies of the forest. The blue fairy, the red fairy, and the green fairy all accompany her, Tinkerbell taking her seat at a miniature table that's set on top of the star table. The Pied Piper is over on one side playing his flute very exuberantly. Goldilocks and the Three Bears sit around a nice circular table of perfect size, and each of them in chairs made perfectly for them, especially Goldilocks, who has one that seems to be brought specially from the bears themselves. Little Red Riding Hood sits off to one side, kind of sitting by herself, while Peter Pan and Hook, who are usually at each other's throats, have come together, making merriment and joyous time, setting down their differences and being together. There are a sort of batch of small woodland creatures that have gathered up around a small table just off the side of the cake. And as we watch, little mice in chef coats and chef hats finish up the cake as they squirt icing along this whole side, running up these little ladders up this 4-story cake. There is magic in the air tonight. And at this point, we see an individual, very small in size, running around the event. Cassius, what would you be doing at this event?
I think Cassius would be one, looking for water, both to drink and to just sit in as the merriment is happening. And I think he'd try introducing himself to some of the princesses at their table.
Okay, and it's a very long, round table that they are all sitting at. Cinderella, Snow White, Aurora, Ariel, all sitting there. And they're fine ball gowns, along with all the princes who are with them. And you notice immediately the princes are very dressed down. Polos that are popped up, big old Ray-Bans glasses around their sides, flip-flops with high socks and short jean shorts on.
So also, Cassius is a grung. He has blue and black sort of skin with like white splotches all over it. He's wearing sort of fine armor. Makes himself look bigger than he actually is, despite being a small little frog guy. He has a crown perched upon his head that is tilted to one side. It somehow stays on. No one knows how. It just does. And he approaches the table, kind of looking up at the princess is sitting. Hi, Hole. My name's Cassius. How are you doing?
And you see Snow White looks over and goes, "Oh, well, hello there, little one. Well, please come join up here." And she, like, clicks a button on the side of the table as it pulls down like a staircase down to you.
Why, thank you. And he kind of just waddles up these stairs.
And you get up, and they're like, "Huh? Well, I've never seen you around the Enchanted Forest. What might your name be?"
My name's Cassius. I'm not really from around here. It's a long story. But, just wanted to introduce myself, get to know you. It's a lovely merriment, lovely feast we're having. The cake looks amazing.
Oh, yes, we have quite a wonderful set of chefs that have been preparing this for many days. But I really appreciate the compliment.
Of course. I appreciate the finer things in life, you know?
Oh.
I come from, and he points at his crown, I come from wealth, you know?
Oh, and she looks over to the other princess and she goes, "Wealth, you say? Well, please join us at this table." And like claps her hands, and there's like a squadron of mice that like pull over a small table and a small chair for you and like sets it up on top.
I don't mind if I do. He's sitting to sit down.
You sit down. At this point, across the aisle from this table of wealth at this point stands at a small stature, smelling of sweets and gumdrops with a tinge of ale, a small gingerbread man. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So, Gerard Ginger, as many know him, Hollywood, would be sitting at a table with a purple bandana around his gingerbread cookie head, dark clothes that have kind of faded in the sun over the years, a white bristly shirt, as well as many bracelets and other type things, necklaces around him that he's kind of picked up along his travels. And he's actually on his left side is a little bit more toasty than the rest of him. Maybe left on the cookie sheet a little bit too long for that. And another discerning feature, which I have to give a great shout out to the people that came up with these ideas. I pitched it out to a few people. So he has icing tattoos down both of his arms. And the winners of these ideas was a cookie lady in a pinup style on his left arm. On his forearm, he has like a bit of a street sign almost that says Dreary Lane. And on his other arm, it's a sugar cookie, like one of those fancy sugar cookies you see on Instagram and TikTok where they fill it all in. It's a ship with kind of like a milk sea below it. And right below that in words, it says, "The salt of the seas is sweet to me." And then the last one is a gumdrop skull and crossbone on his right forearm.
And you sit there eyeing up the table of wealth, keeping your eyes around the party. What are you looking for in specific? What do you think you'd be doing?
Well, Gerard would just be kind of sitting back a little bit, kind of looking casual while having a milk stout in hand and drinking it while keeping an eye out and looking. And when he's done with a milk stout, he'd probably slam it down on the table and be like, "Yar, who do I need to find to get another stout around here?"
And at this point, Hansel and Gretel are sitting across from you, drooling at the mouth. And they go, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I believe that you could go over to the refreshments table and fill it up with one of the barrels."
Oh, shiver me gumdrops. What am I doing here with you two? I'll be off. And he's going to get up and make his way to the refreshment table.
"Oh, Gretel, I do believe I found dinner tonight." And you walk off. At this point, barging into the southern part of the party, it's an interesting duo. You know, most of the creatures and inhabitants of this forest have come in with their parties, but these two, seemingly not supposed to be together, waltz in. How would you waltz in, you two?
I'm scrambling in on my hands and feet. My face to the ground, looking for scraps to steal and put away in my pouch.
Scran, did we ever decide if you were a small or medium creature?
I am actually, in fact, a medium creature.
I am riding on Scran's back
Perfect.
with a flask for a medium-sized creature in one hand, a cigar in the other, my wand / great club strapped to my back, and just I'm carrying on a conversation that I don't care if Scran is paying attention to or not. And you look right over there, and I'm pointing to this red dragon that's following this Chinese princess with a sword strapped on her back. He's really the only one that made it. If you look over at them, and I'm pointing at these ponies that are bouncing around with these weird little flowery tattoos on their butts, and then there's Tinkerbell right over there with her little pixie friends, the fairy godmother. I'm telling you, one day we got to rise up against the matriarchy.
And at this point, you hear, "Well, Larry," as the fairy godmother floats her way over, and she goes, it's a pleasure to see you, but it ain't."
I'd say it's a pleasure to see you too, but I saw the bunions on my feet earlier, and they were much more attractive.
You know, Larry,
No, I don't, but I got a feeling you're going to tell me anyway, so why don't you just go ahead?
I've been hearing rumors around the forest, going
Go
through
on.
vine to vine, that you're looking not too great these days, at least in your pockets. You know, I've given you an offer in the past. If you come work for me, I'll make sure those pockets are filled and you have as much fairy dust as possible.
Let me say this, fairy godmother, as you so like to call yourself, right? Yet, so far you haven't made me an offer I can't refuse.
Well, it
One of
doesn't
these
sound
days.
like you have anything else for you.
While Larry is talking to Fairy Godmother, at the mention of fairy dust, can I try and check her pockets for fairy dust?
100%. Make a sleight of hand check. The first roll of the campaign.
Oh god, I'm a low roller though. 24.
24. You see, as she was explaining that she could fill up Larry's pockets with as much fairy dust as possible, she has a little satchel and she places it back on her belt, and you quickly, with your tail, wrap around and pull it right off and tuck it into yourself.
I just pretend that I'm really stupid and just continue to sniff around while they're talking.
Gotcha.
As Scran is I imagine Scran's sniffing around, and I'm still having this conversation, slowly turning but trying to keep my eyes on her the entire
Gotcha.
time.
Yep. And she's like, yeah, and hey, you look like you're busy. Enjoy, you know what, Larry, I hope you enjoy the day.
I am busy. I got a lot of things going on here at all times, lady.
And you all make your way into the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. You notice different teapots that are stationary in the middle of each table start making whoom, whoom, whoom sounds as music starts coming up, sounding like a kaleidoscope of pan flutes. People start getting up and dancing. From the woodland creatures, you see a raccoon and a seagull wrap their arms together and start jauntily dancing around. You see the Prince Charming looks over to Cinderella and goes, "Oh yeah, man, this is my fucking jam, let's go!" and grabs Cinderella and starts just like putting her up in the air above his head. Pinocchio, you see Pinocchio like tells a couple lies, grows his nose as a vine attaches to his cheek, going taut as he grabs it and starts playing a single string guitar or banjo, if you will. It seems like a joyous day. What would you all like to do at this point?
Uncle Larry,
Yeah, what's up, Scran?
I got fairy dust.
you what now?
I like produce a little pouch with my tail up towards Uncle Larry.
Oh, darling, you are such a mashugana. And I'm just gonna take it and just tuck it into my my tank top. It makes a little bulge. Oh, I am gonna get you the greatest 3-day-old biscuits and gravy as soon as we get back to the junkyard.
Thank you. Can I try and go towards like underneath people's skirts or dresses if possible? I don't know if Uncle Larry is gonna come. I'm not gonna force him to.
Gotcha. Are you just walking under people's legs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, I am a very G-rated creature. You do what you need to do, honey. And I'm gonna.
And you take off with their little wings as they, like a bumblebee. It shouldn't work, but it does.
Like a very hairy biker bumblebee.
Yep. Just bzzz through the air. Scran, are you looking for anything, or are you just trying to make a ruckus?
I'm particularly trying to look for money.
Okay. Go ahead, make another sleight of hand check.
Oh, I should not be the one doing all these rolls. I used all my good luck in that first one. How's a 6 do ya? With the nat 1.
Oh, so you, Uncle Larry, you fly away, and Scran, you know your objective. You feel your pockets a little light, and you know if you can get some of that good gold coin action, you can make, a couple extra weeks work, And as you go to scurry under the nearest table to look, you feel something grab you by the scruff of your neck as you get pulled up and looking into an individual with a big bow tie and a large top hat who goes, well, it looks like we got some rascals in here.
I panic, and I don't think I have to describe what Scran looks like.
Go right ahead.
So, Scran is like a very grayish possum, but is wearing a kind of really messy, like, white wife beater that says "Bring me the Feywild" on it. It has like these like fishnet wrist warmers from like the early 2000s, and he's got goggles and just like jewelry piercings all up his ears and like jean shorts as well.
And at this point, the Mad Hatter goes, well, I do like a little bit of chaos, but this is a time for joyous merriment.
I'm gonna imagine at this point I've got one arm around Tinkerbell. I've got the pouch of fairy dust. And what you see here is 100% uncut, never went to Bam Bam. And I see Scran held up by the scruff of his neck. I'll be right back.
And the Mad Hatter goes, "Well, there, little one. How would you like a slice of cake?"
Still panicking, thinking I'm in trouble, I'm gonna play dead and just go rigid. Lolling out.
And at this point, you just see the Mad Hatter's face go pale. And he just like opens his vest and just holds Scran in there and just like claps real quick as a horde of mice runs along again. And he goes, "Well, you know what to do with this one." And lays it onto you, or you onto this bed of mice as they start scurrying off. At this point, as soon as you're laid down, Larry, you quickly fly up. By the way, Gerard and Cassius, you notice there's a commotion going on as this is the Mad Hatter's event.
I just kind of watch the trail of people go by. Just, does this happen a lot at these kind of events?
Oh, yes, people get pretty inebriated.
I'll have what they had.
And at this point, you see, I don't know Snow White's husband's name, but he walks up wearing a very similar popped collar and goes, "Yeah, bro, like, let's get some shots rolling in right now, okay? It's party time." And just like starts putting it like tankards of ale all around you. And they're like the size of your table. So you're just like seeing these large towers getting placed around you. Larry, what would you like to do as Scran is getting scurried off?
I'm gonna grab onto Scran's tail, and I'm just gonna fly and pick up Scran and like pull him away from the mice.
As you pull
It's
him up,
okay. I got this. I got this.
as they just and they scurry off.
It's okay. Nothing to see here. These ain't the droids you're looking for. Scran, come on. It's like still, I'm assuming like rigor mortis, just penduluming
Yeah.
as I'm hovering, trying to get like out of the crowd.
Yep. And at this point, you're like, Scran, you're hanging upside down dead. Larry, you're holding him. And Cassius, you see these giant takards being placed around you, and you turn and see a possum just penduluming in the air.
I see this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like right next to the table.
For a sec.
You're good, you're good.
Sorry. Do you need help?
I mean, if you want to, tell you what, get everyone's attention away from what's going on. Here, wow, what did you eat? You've gotten heavy.
What can I do to distract? I let out a large ribbit.
Sure. Make a performance check.
That's a 4 on a nat 2.
A 4. You go to let out like this large ribbit, right? And you inhale, and as you open your mouth, you see the prince just go, "Yeah, open up," and start pouring ale right into your mouth. And go ahead and make an insight check.
Good job.
I mean, if it works, it works. That is an 11.
11. You notice as each prince gets drunker and drunker and more exuberant and bro-like, you notice all the princesses are kind of like very put off. They seem a little bit in shock.
So, do your partners like to drink this much?
Yeah, bro, we drink like every day. There's Thirsty Thursday. There's Fucked Up Friday. There's Saturday, which is for the boys. And you see all the princes turn and start laughing, and Snow White looks in towards you and goes, I don't know what happened. We just got married like 3 weeks ago, and he was fine for like a week, and then this happened.
Huh. How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, about 4 weeks. But it was love at first kiss. And at this point, you're, yeah, first kiss. And you turn as two dwarves are walking past the table, and they walk towards a large table with a lot of ale and a lot of food on it, as one pretty, hefty dwarf immediately just starts digging his teeth in with a dull. They both have dull gray appearances with like charcoal beards.
Don't like that.
Oh, don't worry about them. They went through something tragic. Apparently something happened at their mine that they're still dealing with.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, I have no idea. They've kind of kept to themselves recently. Same with Red over there and Jack. And you see as she points towards Little Red Riding Hood and Jack from the Beanstalk.
Does Gerard see all of this going on?
Would you like to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I figured I'd be by the refreshment table.
Yeah, I mean, you're keeping an eye out. Make a perception check. I want to see how much you pick up.
Perception. That would be a 15.
15, easily enough. I mean, it's a party. Things are happening very rapidly, but you're able to keep eyes on, and you see Snow White glance towards the two dwarves that just walked in and then point to Little Red Riding Hood, who is dressed a little bit differently than traditional. Instead of wearing that bright red hood, you see a dark gray hood covering her face with two strands of hair that kind of cover her eyes. You see what looks to be like a bandolier of daggers just very slightly poking out. And then Jack, who is in still same like kind of spandex tights, but in dark blacks and grays.
Okay. And do I also see the bros with the drinking and all of that going on as well? Okay, so Ginger's gonna make his way over there with his ale, as always.
Gotcha.
And he's going to kind of maybe like bump into a couple of them and be like, "Oh, it's a great party, isn't it, lads?" And while he's doing that, he's going to try and pick a couple of pockets and see what he can grab.
Sure, make a sleight of hand check.
19.
19. Yeah, as they're like, yeah, it's a great part, and just start chugging their ale. You just whoop 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 whoop, and just start pickpocketing them. Add like, I'd say 16 gold to your inventory.
Okay. Is there anybody else like around there that is not all royal?
Around there, that's not royal. Well, there is currently a fairy with a possum hanging off of him, and it at this point, because like the rotation of the world. The possum was going back and forth, and now it's like full rotation, just centrifuge right now.
Like under my breath, Scran, you are causing a scene right now.
Scran is gonna like shake and like loosen up again. Is he gone?
He's gone, sweetie. He's gone, and I'm just gonna let Scran back down to the ground.
Gotcha. And
all this going on. Do I notice the like Red and Jack?
make a perception check.
Do I notice any of it if I was in rigor mortis?
Make a perception check with disadvantage.
17.
17. You would, yeah.
Not 20, 24.
Ooh, perfect.
I'm either
Yeah.
rolling high or garbage.
Nice. That's what I like.
And I'm gonna like as I set Scran down, I'm gonna like hover down next to him, and like, hey, buddy, I know you're not well versed in this world, but you seen little Dread Riding Hood over there, and check the Beanstalk Ripper. Like this is something's not quite right here.
Do you want me to go check them out?
Could you check them out without checking out the contents of their pockets, perhaps?
You can tell a lot about a person by their pockets.
You can, but we can also tell a lot about what the security guards look like around here if you fail at checking what's in their pockets.
That was a security guard.
You do what you do best, honey. I believe in you. And I will bonk you with the back end of my wand.
I'm gonna try and stealth over there.
Okay, make a stealth check.
While this is happening, I would like to be talking with Snow White. Like, what do you know about Red Riding Hood and Jack?
Oh, I used to know them better a while ago. We've kind of split up, after, not seeing each other for quite some time. You see, I was under slumber for, well, I wish I could tell you how long. It was quite a time. But, I mean, Jack was always so family-oriented. He would do anything for his family, and same with Red over there. She was always looking after her great-granny. What was your stealth?
I got a 10.
A 10. You start skittering across, and at this point you get halfway there, and you hear, "Psst, hey kid."
I look around.
You look around, and underneath, like one of the tables poking their head out, is a raccoon that goes, "First time at the tea party?"
What's tea party?
Come here.
I give a quick glance to Uncle Larry and scramble under the table to this
Okay.
raccoon.
And I just
and you scurry under. And at this point, as you make your way under, you notice the woodland creatures that were at one table weren't there anymore. In fact, they are underneath here as piles of pastries are lined up in stacks of towers as you see cards being played around this small table. And they're like, "So this is the woodland creatures realm under here. This is table C."
Oh.
Is
So
it
that
what
was
you
your
want?
bodyguard out there?
What?
That was your bodyguard out there?
Which one? Who
Weird hat
snitched?
guy.
The Mad Hatter? No. He doesn't know about this. This is just for us. You want Belton?
Yes.
All right. Hey, posse, pull up a chair. as you see there's a chameleon underneath there smoking a long cigarello. The raccoon pulls up a chair. A blue lucky cricket sits in a very tall but skinny chair there next to a long skinny red dragon. The seagull from before, who has like one larger eye than the other and seems to be a little out there, is currently telling a story to the woodland creatures. Uncle Larry, you see Scran go halfway, turn back at you, and then scuttle underneath a table.
Go forth, sweet prince.
Gerard, what would you like to be doing during all this time?
So probably at this point, after picking a few pockets, Gerard would probably then start to find a few people that don't look like they're royalty with money, and he's going to start giving out those coins, just kind of sneaking them into their pockets.
Okay.
In a way, until he's got about half of what he grabbed, so he'll only have like the 8 gold left.
So are you looking for I'm guessing the less fortunate ones?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, the ones
The less nobility.
Make a perception check.
That would be a 14.
A 14. You look around, the big bad wolf right now, who's like dressed in like a ragged suit vest and patchy slacks, is currently like, you see him like pigging out right now because he can't, he hasn't had a good meal in a while. And you walk up as you see a chef comes up and goes, yes, I present you your dinner. And he pulls out 3 large saucers as he takes the lids off of large pork roasts that have been cooked for him. And he goes, oh, well, that's just what I was looking for. And he starts chomping away. And you go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Ooh, that's not good. 12.
12. You start to slip it into the small vest pocket, and you feel him turn as he goes and reaches for another hog and starts tearing into that, and you quickly put it in and walk away. Okay.
So Gerard would just be kind of, it's a hell of a party, isn't it? He's just kind of like going through, kind of acting a little more inebriated than what he is.
And at this point,
just kind of cheersing, bumping into people where he's going to.
And you bump into the Mad Hatter, who goes, well, it certainly is one heck of a party, isn't it? Oh, boy, I love this time of year. How about you?
Good gumdrops. This is fantastic. I love your hats, by the way.
Oh, I thank you. I've perfectly selected it for this year.
Oh, you can tell. As you can tell, I've just got just my own headpiece.
Oh, and it's very festive.
Oh, thank you. I do believe this is quite a party, and thank you for the invite.
Well, of course, I think it was such a great idea to have such a gathering of wonderful, wonderful people.
Oh, there's always more cookie folk and candy people that can always come around. It's nice to get out of the seas.
Oh, I for sure agree.
Now tell me, what is all of this nonsense over here? And he's going to kind of generally just kind of point over to Red Riding Hood and Jack, kind of hearing the commotion before.
And you hear, he looks at you for a hot second, looks at them and goes, well, I don't see anything wrong over there. It's just people being who they truly are. Good day, as he walks away.
I was like, can I get like an insight check on that?
Sure.
Okay. Just kind of to feel him out and kind of get what kind of vibe I'm getting off from him. So that would be a 17.
17? I mean, it's the Mad Hatter. He's kind of nonsensical as he walks around talking to people. And it's like, he'll like pour a tea into one sleeve and it pops out the other as he refills somebody else's like teacup and like just doing the weirdest stuff. But he seems on edge.
Okay.
He is the master of ceremonies right now.
Is he like walked away from me already at this
Yeah.
point? Okay.
I'm just gonna watch the he go in one sleeve, go across his chest, come out the other. That is so unsanitary.
Okay.
Is Larry close enough to me that I could hear him say that, or is he farther away?
Sure. I'll say that you two are close enough.
Okay. I kind of look over him, and that's why I stick to my milk stout.
Oh, buddy, I don't blame you. That's why I stick to what I bring myself. And like from seemingly nowhere, a flask about the size of my own torso comes out.
Now that's impressive. I have to know how did you do that?
Well, if I told you, then it wouldn't be magic, now would it? And I'll sprinkle a little fairy dust.
Make a Constitution saving throw, Gerard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
Okay.
Something.
Nope, not one.
Not one.
Not one.
You feel yourself as you get sprinkled with this fairy dust. Feel a little lighter for a second, and then fall back on the ground.
Yar.
Sad yard noises.
I hear you, right, buddy. You're looking at these two over here, and something just don't quite feel right. Yeah.
Yar. I mean, it just seems a bit off, even for ye landlubbers and whatnot. This seems a bit odd to me.
Oh no, it's totally a little bit odd. I've known Red since she was, extra little Pink Riding Hood. Whatever this is going on, it's oh god, in another land, I think they call it Wednesday Addams. That's what's going on over here, and it's a little unsettling.
Yeah, I could be saying that. As you seem to know your way, quite a way around this area. Are you from the forest area here?
Second star to left, straight on till morning, somewhere around there.
I don't know what that means.
If you take the interstate down about 4 exits, you get on the frontage road, cross 3 sets of railroads. It's a whole thing. I'm close.
Oh, sure. That makes sense. Does Larry have pockets?
Larry is in a pink onesie and a tutu. Everything goes into his onesie and comes out of it. I suppose it's one giant pocket. Be very careful.
I forgot how tall is Larry?
I am a small creature. I think I'm it's I don't know, maybe 1.5 feet tall.
Okay, because I was saying I'm 3 feet tall, so I'm not that much bigger. But okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, both of you are like on equal ground as you're talking to each other, which is like the first time for both of you in this party. As most people are like medium size.
I like you. I think I could find out quite a bit about this land from you.
Why, thank you, buddy. But what I think we need to find out quite a bit about how this land has changed in the recent little bit. You just talked to Mad Hatter. He didn't seem to be too comfortable, from what I gathered.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed a bit off even for him, from what I've heard.
He's about 5 degrees off as is. I really hope you didn't have any of his armpit tea.
That's why I stick to me stout.
Mm.
Just gonna hold up the mug there. While this is there, I am going to try to slip a gold into the whole ensemble.
Sounds good. Make a sleight of hand check.
Okay, that's better. Okay, so that's 18 plus 8. That's math. That's tough here.
26.
Thank you.
Somehow I
26.
don't notice a gold coin comparatively larger than my head slipping into my onesie.
It's as soon as it enters your radius, you like take a swig as some fairy dust hits it and shrinks it perfect size as it just gets inserted like a coin slot and just gets taught. to
Oh,
your-
mazel tov. I don't know what that was.
Okay, and Cassius, you're sitting there, and Snow White's like, yes, the past, 2 weeks have been the most stressful point of my life. I thought marriage was perfect for me, but who would have guessed that after a week of dating, you shouldn't get married?
That about tracks, I'd say. That's you should take some more time to get to know someone before you do that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the tax benefits are incredible, but there's no love anymore. He just gallivants with the other princes.
So what is it that you like to do?
Well, I like dancing, and dancing in the woods, dancing with my friends who I haven't seen in 4 weeks.
Where are your friends now?
Well, and she just points very nonchalantly towards the dwarves. One who has this mean scowl on his face, just chugging ale. The other one who is ripping, just meat as it stretches off the the legs of turkey, just tearing into this bird.
You know what? And I'll put on these white satin gloves, and I extend my hand to Snow White. It's just, come on, let's go dance with them.
Are you sure?
Of course.
And she grabs your little grippers, and you and as soon as she gets up, it's like you go, huh, and your hands get pulled up into the air. Make a performance check.
Well, 12.
12. You start. You dance for what you can. It's kind of just Snow White twirling you around, kind of like Jessie in Toy Story 2 in the sad scene, just getting spun around.
It's a happy scene, right? It's a happy scene.
Yeah, it's a happy scene. And you feel, the centrifugal force start to hit, and you hear, oh, well, you're fiddly-dee. We're having a little bit of a tea party over here, are we? And you just see one of the dwarves just start, chugging his ale even faster, and look, poof, slams it on the table, and starts walking up and goes, little what over here, thinking that she's, wonderful and princess-like now, huh? Too good to be hanging out with her dear old friends, huh?
I beg your pardon. Please join us with dancing. We're having a great time here.
Oh, dancing. Oh, that's what you call that, ruckus you're doing over there, huh?
Snow White, can you put me down for 1 second so I can talk to...
Oh, yes.
Just strangling.
She lets you go. Poof, you just fall like the foot.
All right. Your name is?
My name's Angry. What's it to you?
Oh, I am Prince Cassius. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
and
great. Another one of the royalties. Oh, just what I wanted to see.
I assure you, I am not like any other royalty you've met.
Oh, is that so? And how are you different than the other ones?
When's the last time you met a prince that was shorter than you?
That's fair. You know what? And he turns back and goes, what? Hungry? This one might be different, but still, royalty is royalty, and they're all about in my book.
Tell you what. And I just extend my hands. Would you like to dance?
Make a persuasion check.
Please roll high.
It's a 15.
15. He goes, you know what? I would love to dance. And you feel him grab your little grippers a little too hard as he just starts swinging you around his head. He's like, yeah, this dancing thing's real fun. Oh, I'm loving this. And at this point, the Mad Hatter goes, please, gentlemen, please put the young one down. And Angry stops, and you're hanging, just a little disoriented. He puts you down, goes, I'm watching you. And walks away. I'm sorry, are you okay?
I'm a little frazzled, but I'm pretty hardy for a frog.
Oh, well, that's good to hear. I mean, the festivities should be starting up any time now.
What kind of festivities do you have in store?
Oh, well, that's a surprise. I don't want to give up. Oh, but what a surprise it will be. And he, skips away.
Is Jonas the Snow White still there?
Snow White is, and she's just very, very just wide-eyed at the dwarf. And she runs up and she goes, I'm sorry, I don't know what's gotten into them. They used to be the sweetest. Angry loved dancing. He was pretty good at waltzing in ballroom. That was not what he... Then you just see her eyes glaze over and water up a little bit.
Kind of reach for her hand, just pat it. There. It'll be okay. I'm sure he just needs some time to cool off.
I hope so. And you just see her slowly walk back to her table, sit down, and the other princesses are there, and they just kind of comfort her a little bit. And at this point you hear, Psst, hey buddy. And then you turn, and there's a raccoon going, lifts up a sheet and goes, you want in?
Hop forward a little bit.
And
Smells pretty good.
he grabs hand around the shoulder and goes, listen, tonight you're gonna be a winner. And pushes you in. And you play around the cards. Yes, Gerard.
I say, do me and Larry see all of this going on?
Make perception checks.
9.
9. You don't. You don't. Gerard?
16.
16. You notice the frog that was spun. You see the frog get put down. Angry walks very ferociously back to his table. Snow White walks to their table, and you see the Mad Hatter starting to skip across table to table to table to table. But that's all you really catch. And at this point, Scran and Cassius, you two are thrown into the game as Scuttle, the seagull, starts throwing out. All right. So, aces are high. We're playing Land of Shadows Hold'em. Are you ready? Both of you roll just a straight luck check, so D20s.
18.
That's a 7.
7. You look at yours, and the first one goes, second one, third, until the river's fully played down. Cassius, you lose most of your croissants in the first round. But Scran, you bet 6 donuts, and right away you get macarons, you get macaroons, you get puff pastries and eclairs alike. You gathered a whole bunch as you see the lucky cricket, still silent, not saying anything, look at their hand and just get mad and toss it at the table and walk out. As the raccoon goes, "Oh, wow, nice hand there. What's your name?"
I wipe my hands of crumbs.
Mm-hmm.
Scran.
It was nice to meet you.
I am also seeing the sad little frog beside me. I will hand him one of my macarons.
Thank you.
And I awkwardly pat his head too.
Oh, you're not gonna need to make a con save.
Oh, actually?
Yeah.
Oh god. 16?
You're good. There's a be careful. Should have waved her away from it. Poison skin.
Oh. And I'm going to take out a little notepad and start writing that in a notepad really quick.
Oh, you're playing an actual grung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think I was playing? A human?
So at this point, you deal out the cards one by one. Once again, the raccoon comes over to you, puts on his little glove and goes, "Well, it's nice to meet you too, friend. What's your name?" And go
me?
to you.
Oh, I'm Prince Cassius.
Oh,
Pleasure to meet you.
oh, a prince royalty. Well, I'm at your humble
Technically.
service, Scran. Cassius, my name is Miko. It's good to meet you all. And shakes your hands. Yeah, I'm a bit royalty too. I mean, not of the typical sense. Not in typical monarchies. We don't believe in that in my society. But you know, my girl P over there, she's running things perfectly. You know, we live off the land and we give back. It's amazing.
It's incredible. I understand your dislike for the monarchy. It can be a lot.
Oh, well, I mean, they're not all bad. I will admit that. It's just mostly, I mean, the princes recently, I mean, you saw them. I need to kind of like making their own little thing. They call it a frat. I don't know what that means.
Oh.
I've never heard of that.
Doesn't sound very nice.
No, I mean, it's pretty much just drinks every night and, you know, they did something called, I think it was a hazing. They like threw each other into middle of the enchanted woods and they went, figure out how to get back, and left them. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're just kind of a little out there right now. They used to be so charming. No pun intended.
Something happened to them, or
Oh,
were they just
well, it was the
Right.
hazing. I mean, every time they came back, it was like they were transformed into these people. They were like, oh, let's drink all night. Let's take shots.
And where did they go to get housing?
Oh, it was like a little south of here near the mountains.
Hmm. So, by any chance, do you know where Red and Jack are from?
Oh, well, they're down south too. I mean, but they're like way south. They're like, do you know the beanstalk?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Jack lives over by there. It's like the southeast part of the Enchanted Forest, and then Red's a little bit like northeast of that, but like not too far northeast. It's kind of like at the crossroads.
Uncle Larry says they're different. How are they different?
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of, it looks like they're just like going through a phase right now. I mean, every teenager kind of goes through a phase.
Gran looks down at his clothes and crosses his arms over the tank top.
Oh, well, I didn't mean to make offense. I'm just, you know, for some people it's a phase, for some people it's a way of life. But they're teenagers, you know, they're just experimenting with their style. I wouldn't even pay two clicks towards it.
So, can we go with our winnings?
Oh, yeah, I mean, you don't have to stay here. You can go right ahead, yeah.
I am going to grab all my pastries and put as many will fit into my bag, and the rest I will walk out with my hands.
And at this point, do you stay, Cassius, or would you like to also go?
I think Cassius will take the gift from Scram. Scran just follow them outside.
Okay.
After learning about what's the other people.
And you walk out, and there Gerard and Uncle Larry are kind of like talking about milk stout and liquor and all this stuff.
And I'm gonna tell you, Gerard love the name. Sounds like a family name to me. Really, like little Red over there. Like I'm seeing her on this side. I'm seeing Big Bad over there. His name's really Buford. They were actually a thing, and this whole thing was created so that nobody would like judge them for it. They're not even looking at each other. Some magical shit has gone down.
By the way, call me Ginger. I don't believe I got your name.
Oh,
I don't want to be calling you Pinky.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't. Might have to smuck you. Larry, pleasure to meet you.
It'd be nice to meet you.
Well, I think we just did.
I believe so.
Bowing deeply.
No, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was telling you to go ahead.
Oh, okay.
After you.
Well, no, after you.
No, after you.
At this point, Scran and Cassius, you walk up to...
No, I insist after you.
Is that your little furry friend there? Pointing at Scran.
So
Isn't that
Scran
the
is
one that you
actually
were swinging
4.5
around
feet.
earlier?
Scran's the lonely, medium-sized creature in this entire lot.
I'm holding a little stack of cookies.
Scran, old buddy, old pal, old compatriot of mine. Where did you get those? Please tell me not from the Mad Hatter. If you did, please tell me you checked them for hair first.
I won them in some game. I was just given cards, and then they gave me these.
You're
She's
telling
really
me
good.
You're telling me we came to a high society tea party, and somehow you found your way into an underground game of cards and won pilfered baked goods?
Yes.
I am so proud of you.
Thanks, Uncle Larry. Oh. They said something about the princess changing and Red being a teenager.
Well, yeah, like as a teenager, I don't actually know how old you are, Scran. It's a little weird, and it's going to be, this explanation's not going to come off well. But at a certain point, your voice is going to start to change. Fur is going to start to grow in weird places. There's a lot of things that are going to happen as you age, and maybe that's what happened.
And at this point, you hear ting, 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 ting on a teacup as around the 4-story cake, the Mad Hatter is skipping around, goes, friends, please gather round. It's time for the annual toast. And
Scran, keep an eye on those princes.
Do you?
I'm right here.
I hand the cookies to Larry so I can start scrambling around to be near the princes.
I tuck them in my onesie of holding.
Are those
perfect.
Are those cookies?
And at this point, the Mad Hatter gets up, stands up, and goes, my dearest friends, I wanted to thank you all for coming. For quite some time, we have come together to make merriment, celebration, and joyous memories together. Year after year, to share the moments of happiness. And it fills me with such disgust. You all distract yourself. You distract yourself with silliness, whilst making your true self, while masking your true self and ambitions. For quite some time, I sat behind that crystal barrier you all forced me in, watching you all forfeit who you really are. Until one day, and he looks over at the dwarves and looks back and goes, until one day my children remembered who they were and freed me from my imprisonment. And it made me realize my hope for you all is not gone. And you start to see faces around the crowd kind of look. And he goes, and just as they did for me, I shall do for you. I will help you remove your mask. As you see him grab onto his skin, peeling it off, revealing a different face underneath. My children, come to me. Come to Grimm. As you start to hear teapots pss, 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 shatter around you, you see black ichor tendrils start piercing the backs of each fairy tale character's heads. I need you all to roll dexterity saving throws.
Oh no!
No.
18.
Okay.
21.
21.
Well,
22.
22. And 12, you said, Gerard?
yeah.
Okay. So, you all start seeing these tendrils snatching onto the back of their heads as everybody's faces go a pale, dark gray. Their features start concaving in. Eyes and pupils and irises start going dark, then to bright red. And you start to see chaos taking off You notice something, though, as you're running through, as more and more teapots shattering, and tendrils flying through the air, latching onto these creatures. They manage to go right over most of your heads. Gerard, as you see this happening, you quickly run, trying to get to the outskirts of the forest. And as a tendril comes flying towards your face, you feel weightless for a second as the fairy dust kicks in again, and you fly right underneath this tendril as you all run, and you hear Snow White actually go, whittling creatures to the edge, and start ushering you all. Do you all go?
I'm going to grab Scran by the scruff of his neck. All right, kids, everybody out of the pool, and start dragging him towards the edge.
And you, as you're running, you start to notice the grass starts to wilt and die, turning a very dark gray as the land beneath it crumbles and dries up, and just radiating from the cake itself. As what was once the Mad Hatter walks up slowly in a very weightless, kind of on the moon, low gravity, jumps up to the top, grabbing onto a cloak, and looks at all of you and goes, "Children, now that I have returned, you can be your true selves. There's no point in masking any longer. You don't need to put up those false, joyous faces. You can once again be with me." And at this point, you all dart, and Snow White quickly moving through. The blue fairy also catches up, and you start running away. Cassius, you see Snow White grabs you underneath, holds you underneath her arm like a football, just running. And you hear, well, where do you think you are all going? As on the outskirts, you see Angry and Hungry, as Hungry tears apart a turkey leg and blood starts dripping from it. I do believe there won't be anybody leaving this tea party. So, at this point you're running through, what are you all doing?
Can I look? I'm gonna look over at Uncle Larry, and I start kind of tapping my earrings excitedly. Is it time?
What? Scran, right now, it is time to go. It is time to leave.
Go.
Yes, go.
I'm gonna rip one of the earrings out, and you start seeing the armor start coming out of the earrings and covering Scran's body. And so you see a metal sheen kind of go over his fur and his body.
Just full-on Transformer style, just ching, 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 ching. And at this point, since there's a lot of you and only two of them, they're going to make one swing at you, Scran. As that is a nat 20.
I am going to use my reaction.
Okay.
So when I'm on a part of the back of my skin, a rune glows as I invoke the Cloud Rune. As I am a Rune Knight fighter. And when I see a creature within 30 feet of me get hit by an attack roll, I can use my reaction to invoke the rune, which is a different creature within 30 feet, other than the attacker. And the chosen creature becomes the target. So, it was one of the dwarves who attacked?
Yes.
Can he attack the other dwarf?
Sure. You see as Angry pulls out a large great axe swinging towards Scran, a mist appears around the hilt, pulling it a little too tight, and he readjusts as it slams into Hungry right into his chest as blood starts spewing out as Hungry just takes a deep breath. And you see Hungry fall to one knee, and Snow White goes, "Quickly, just run! Run as fast as you can!" And you all scatter around, making your way away towards the north. And at this point, all of you make perception checks.
3.
13.
17.
Okay.
17.
17. The two that got 17. You start notice dark cloud cover has started to come in on this merry day. And in the distance where you see the castle of bright blues and different shades of blue and golds have turned to a dark gray. And you start running a little bit west of it. And eventually you get to a point where you see Snow White has to take a breath. And you all stop, and she goes, "Who's all here? Who's accounted for?"
Will I be one cookie?
Okay. And
Larry, the fairy god uncle at your service.
right.
Scran.
Scran. Cassius.
Thanks, Cassius. Thank you.
And you hear Miko. And then the blue fairy. And she goes, "That's not a lot." And then looks towards you, Gerard, and goes, "Do you know about this individual?
The
Do
one,
any
the
of
one
you know
that
about
did
this
the
individual?"
mate that was doing all the crazy business
Yes.
with the aha and all this. Now I've barely been out of the seas, lass, but I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Well, when you get officiated into royalty, they tell you about a dark force. One that was said to create us all, and we thought it was trapped, and that's why we have this celebration. You.
So that's not how this normally goes.
If I may, I've been to a couple of these little shindigs in the past, and dwarves are usually entourages around royalty in groups of 7. I see 2 here. What happened to the other 5?
Like, I have no idea. Those two, when they showed up a couple of weeks ago, they were like that.
Did the other 5 happen to go missing a couple of weeks ago when they showed up like that?
Yes.
That didn't seem a bit suspicious for you.
Well, there was a lot going on. I had my coronation. I had a lot of things happening. And at this point, you see as the raccoon steps forth and goes, all right. So here's the deal, okay? Obviously, and he looks around at the 7 of you and goes, we got a little sticky situation on our hands, right? And I hate to say it, but a lot of the Enchanted Forest inhabitants were just, and just like runs a finger claw along his throat and goes,
Killed.
Yeah, possibly. Thank you, Scran. Scran? Perfect.
Scran.
Yo, Princess, what? Are we just fucked? I'm gonna be honest. Are we just fucked? Should I just call it in, just leave forever? And Snow White comes back and goes, and looks back at you, Gerard, and goes, you aren't from here, right?
No, not at all, lass.
I need a huge favor.
I look
from
like a landlubber cookie.
I don't know, but either way, could you do us a huge favor? I mean, anything you would want, we would provide, but I'm afraid that this person, this Grimm, is going to bring terrible things to this nation. Could you seek out help from yours?
I'll do what I can.
And at this point, Mika goes, well, how about this? How about you go tell them. I'll go over to Land of Dinos over there. I got some peeps over there. Well, I can check them out and see what happens. But let's see, and he counts and goes, I know Snow the best and Blue Fairy. Let's split up. You 4 and then us 3 we'll meet back in the middle. Get as much help as possible.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
I see no better options.
I'll kind of nod at the blue fairy. May the best fairy bring back the most friends.
And she goes, well, I certainly will. And at this point, the blue fairy actually leans and goes, Larry, I've never had anything against you. I think you're quite a powerful and helpful individual. So let me help you all out. As she reaches into her gown and pulls out what looks to be 3, like gift wrap, like in mice in ribbon. As she grabs the ribbon by her teeth, pulling it like frag grenades, and throws them as they hit the ground and there's 3 white stallions that are just in prime condition, ready for you all. And she goes, well, make haste. As you hear trees start as the ground starts vibrating, and you see hills coming and forming and shifting like water behind you.
Let's go!
And you all hop on your horses and start running. And that's where we will pick up next week on the Grimm Awakening. Thank you guys. That was so much fun.
That was awesome.
Oh,
Yes.
What a good
This was a
time.
blast.
Oh, good.
The whole session, I'm like, I can't show the right side of my face because I was like, somebody might see the liquid latex that I've carefully applied. But thank you
I'm
all.
glad this was uncomfortable for you as well. The entire session, this tiara has been digging into my scalp because it's made for a 7-year-old girl,
Yeah.
not a 36-year-old man.
Oh, man. Thank
I've
you.
been comfy as fuck.
You look very comfortable. Well,
I made my crown out of paper.
yeah.
A lot more comfy.
I just want to say thank you all for joining us, for the players, and then for you, the viewers, thank you all for joining us this week on the Grimm Awakening. Now that the Mad Tea Party has been concluded and Grimm has arose, we'll see what happens next week. But before that, I have a couple of announcements. This on 5% chance, this Sunday, October 2nd, we are coming back to the Idiot's Guide the Idiot's Guide to Diocide. Don't want to miss it, as well as the 3rd season of Ashen Shade next Wednesday on October 5th. It's going to be a grand time. I can't believe they're on their 3rd season. That's insane to me. But thank you all for joining us. I've been Janders. Let's go once around. Again, quickly say our names, who everybody is. Whoever would like to take it.
I'm
Alex,
Justin.
Justin, go. No,
I'm
I've learned
Justin.
you don't get to go first.
All right.
We
All right, I
learned
start.
that from
I
the
always have
interview.
to end things.
We saved the best for last.
Yes.
That's
I'm Justin. You can find me on TikTok at Jaros1, JHAEROS1.
5% chance. Hi. Hello, operator here. You can find me on TikTok and Twitch. It's spelled slightly different ways. It's in the chat. Pay attention to that one. It's been an absolute blast playing with every single one of you guys, and I look forward to continuing to do so. Doodles.
I'm Sin. You can find me on most of the socials as sensationally.me or sensationally.me.
And I'm Alex. You can find me at Alexander, the D&D Dad on TikTok. And thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you all. And we'll see you all next week for another Grimm Awakening. Bye.
Bye!